Welcome back, Buffalonians. Today we have yet again another Fallout 4 tutorial video on how to rebuild Sanctuary Hills houses. Now it's super simple. Maybe you guys already know how to do this. Maybe you don't. And for those of you who don't, that's why I'm here, and I'm going to be showing you guys how to put these walls and a roof inside each house. It's pretty simple, guys. It comes down to just using the floor mat glitch. Anyways, let's go ahead and let's start this shit up. So you're always going to want to build the ceiling first, or the roof, if you want to call it that. Why, you ask? Well, if you build the walls first and then try to put the roof in, it won't go in right. And I feel like that's a good enough reason to build the roof first. So first thing you guys want to do is obviously just pick the house that you want to build or rebuild. I'm going to pick this house right here, and then you're going to go ahead and find an empty corner where there's nothing in it so you can set stuff down. I'm going to choose this back right corner here. Next thing you want to do is go ahead and find a wide open area, such like the deleted houses. The foundations would be a perfect spot, or you can even make your own just using foundations. So you guys remember that corner that we picked inside the house? Well, that's where you're going to be placing one single piece of floorboard down. It doesn't matter what floor you use, as long as you try to get it nice and close to the edge. Realistically, it doesn't matter, but it makes it super easy when you're trying to build a roof, just so you can justify how much more space you need, or how many more pieces of roof you need to add on to. So the closer the better, but it realistically doesn't have to be perfect. Next thing you want to do is go ahead, get a wall and attach it to that floorboard, and now we're going to build the roof. So when building this roof, guys, you want to make it pretty much the exact same size as the permanent foundation that's set on the ground from where you deleted the house. So as you can see here, it's the exact same size as the permanent foundation on the ground. But what you're going to want to go ahead and do is maybe extend it one roof length a little bit further than normal, just because some of the Sanctuary Hills houses are actually a little bit longer than the deleted houses. Next step is to, well, I'm going to put the wall on this side just because it's maybe a little bit easier. Doesn't really matter realistically, but next step is to delete that or store away the floor that we had attached to the wall. Now, in replacement to that little floorboard that we had set down, we're actually going to set down a smaller piece of floor. Realistically, it doesn't matter what floor piece you use for the small floors. You can use any of the three, but I'm going to use this one. Not that it matters, it just looks a little bit cooler. And now this is where the floor mat glitch will come into play, where you could set anything down using the floor mat, and it'll just give it a Halo Forge type feel where it can just merge into any type of object. So go ahead and set the floor mat as close as possible to that mini piece of floor on the ground, and just hold A on top of it, and it should pick up all of the roof, the wall, and the floor. What I'm doing right now is I'm checking to see if I accidentally picked up anything else, if anything was touching, which again is why I said try to keep everything away from the roof, so that way it doesn't pick up everything that's around it. So now what we're going to do with the roof is head back to the house, and we're going to just try to fit it in as perfectly as possible into the corner. As you can see what I'm doing right here, you want to try to get it as close as possible and as perfect as possible, because this is your roof, and once it's up there, you won't be able to take it back down and move it around again. So I recommend just trying to angle it, fiddle around with it until you get it as close and as right angle as possible. So there we go. Now all you need to do is remove the floor, remove the carpet unless you really want to leave it there, and you can take the wall away if you really want to, because we're going to be putting in some better walls than that. And boom, there we go. We got a roof, guys. So just a reminder, this is what the roof looked like before, and how awful it is. So now that we have the roof in, let's go ahead and add some walls and make this house a little bit more cozier. I'm going to use a steel wall just because it does look a little bit nicer compared to the other ones, and it doesn't have any holes in it, so it's a little bit more cozy a feel. So we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to get a mat, and we're going to attach, or not really attach, but just place the mat right in front of the wall that we're going to be using to cover up any holes. So same exact thing as before, hold A over top of the mat, and it'll pick up the wall and the mat. Spin it around to make sure that you didn't pick up anything extra, because that'll mess everything up, kinda. So head on back to the house with that wall, and we're just going to do the same exact thing, and we're just going to kind of merge it inside the wall. When doing this, you want to try to get it as perfect as possible without messing up, because once it's in there, you either have to delete it or take it back outside and start fresh. If you try to pick it up with a floor mat again, you're going to accidentally pick up the roof and you're going to have to start fresh again, as I said. So try not to mess up and get it perfect right the first time. So I'm going to show you guys this a couple more times, just because maybe you didn't really understand it. Maybe you just want to see me build this. Who knows? So we go ahead, put the floor mat down in front of it, bring our wall and back onto the house that we're rebuilding, and we find an open wall, or hole I should say, and we just fill it in. Now, like I said, try to get it as perfect as possible. I'm trying to get it where it's just barely not in the red, so it's right next to the wall that I have on the right hand side that I just put in. There we go. And as you can see on the outside, it's not even coming out, so it looks like it's a part of the house, you know what I mean? So let's do this one more time, just for an example, because everybody likes to see examples. Put the mat in front of the wall, bring it on back to the house, and fill in a gap. Let's put it over here on this side. Maybe I'll put a house, or not a house, obviously. Maybe I'll put a door in there sometime. But try to get it as nice as possible. Try not to have anything sticking out. And there you go. As you can see, it could have spun it a tiny bit more. A little bit of the wall sticking out, but not a big deal. I'll go back and fix that some other time. And grab your mat and head on back to your workshop. Next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to put the inside walls in. It's pretty much the same exact thing. I'm going to use this wooden wall just because it looks like it'd be a nice texture detailing for an inside wall to a house. Metal walls for an inside of a house doesn't really look too nice. I'm going to use the same exact house, and where the metal walls were that I used to fill in the holes and cracks, I'm just going to go ahead and set it right in front of it, and it'll give it a little bit of nicer texture feel to it, better aesthetics, so it's not just like not like you're inside the vault still, you know what I mean? You want to be inside a nice little cozy house out in the back of the woods, relaxing. I don't know. Use your imagination, guys. So, boom, set it down, get as close as possible, and I think that looks a lot nicer than having that big, ugly piece of metal just sitting there. Next thing I'm going to show you guys is how to add doors to your houses, because for some reason, it doesn't let you put doors in to the prefab, the sanctuary houses. So, we're going to do it. And how, you ask? Well, gee, I wonder. We're going to use the same exact thing we've been doing the past couple times, and we're going to use the floor mat glitch. What a surprise. So let's head on back to the house with the door entry, and same exact thing. Just kind of squeeze it in there. Try to get it as perfect as possible. As you can see at the top of my screen there, I'm wiggling it back and forth, just trying to even it out that way one side isn't sticking out more than the other, so it doesn't look ridiculous. Once you guys have that set, now you can add your doorway into your house. I'm going to use this one just because I don't like those broken windows at the top. I'm trying to rebuild, not unbuild. Does that make sense? Not at all. And there we go, guys. And that's how we add walls, doorways, and a roof to your house in Sanctuary Hills. Now this process is pretty time consuming, but I want to show you guys what it could look like if you guys spent just a little bit of time on working on one house. Alright guys, that's it for this tutorial. I hope it helped you out. Or maybe you just like watching videos. Leave a like for either one of those. And if you guys haven't already, feel free to subscribe, check out my other videos and tutorials and whatnot. Maybe I could help you out even more. Anyways, I hope to see you guys in my next video.